لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله تعالى من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له إقرارا به وتوحيدا وأشهد أن سيدنا وحبيبنا ومولانا وقائد دربنا محمدا عبد الله ورسوله أرسله ربه بالهدى ودين الحق بشيرا ونذيرا وداعي من الله بإذنه وسراجا منيرا ومبشرا للمؤمنين بأن لهم من الله فضلا كبيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. وبعد. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in numerous different hadiths. We know the Quran is the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Sunnah of our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the model, is the path, is the way that we take for us to journey in this life in the obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You cannot have the Sunnah without the Quran. You can't have the Quran without the Sunnah. The Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is our yardstick, is our guide, is our light in this dark and difficult and challenging world that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed us to test us. And He has given us a lot of guidances, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, complete way of life. And He has given us how to approach, how to move around the challenges that we have in this dunya. One of the challenges that we face as individuals, as communities, as civilized society, is the challenge of wealth and money. I speak a lot about this topic because it's something that we as Muslims, we as believers, we have to understand, we have to conceptualize, and we have to frame this topic in the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants and in the way An-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wants. Do you know the most richest person in this world? The most affluent person in this world? Is it Bill Gates? Is it Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon, is worth around 200 million? Or in history, was it Qarun, who was estimated his net worth was around 400 billion or 4 trillion? Or Mansa Musa, right? Mansa Musa, similar amount of wealth. Are these people the most richest people in the world? How do we quantify? How do we qualify? What are the matrix of success? A person who lives in a mansion, is he or she successful than the person who lives in a 2 or 3 bedroom house? Who is more successful? A person who has a degree in medicine or a person who has no degree? Who is more successful? A person who has a career of, a good career, is a lawyer, is a teacher, whatever. A person who just a humble worker going by his life and providing his family. How do we measure success? When we wake up in the morning, how do we measure success? What is the first thing that comes in our mind when we wake up in the morning? Is it Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Is it Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam? Is it the hereafter? What is the first thing that we remind ourselves before we go to sleep? Is it Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Is the Quran in our minds? Is the Sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam in our minds? What are the things that we preoccupy our minds throughout the day? Is it work and eating and watching and doing this and that? About material things, about worldly things. Who are the most successful people? Those people who have a lot of money and wealth, who are famous and popular. Are they successful? Are their minds free? Are their minds clear? Are their minds hot? Are they at peace with themselves? Many of them are not. There's a void that they have inside themselves. And that void can only be filled by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And following in the footsteps of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Let me tell you who the most richest person. Let me tell you who the most happiest person is. According to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Let me tell you who the most successful person is, according to the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Is there a person who has a lot of degrees, or PhD, or is a doctor or lawyer, although these are important? I'm not denying that. I am not denying money is not important, right? If a person can become a billionaire or trillionaire, why not? Good. Many of the companions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they were very wealthy people. Many of the scholars of our past, they were wealthy people. We don't view wealth the way other religions view wealth. Wealth in and of itself is not evil, it's not filthy. It's how we utilize it. It's how we use it. But everything has to be put in perspective. Everything has to be put in the framework of An-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has given us. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was given everything. He was given, when the Quraysh came to him and said, we'll give you everything, just leave this deen. Just leave this call of yours. He did not give up because he understood that true peace, true success in this dunya and the hereafter comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Comes from following in his commandments and guidance and calling the people that which will give them life. Calling the people to Tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that in an authentic hadith, a very simple yet very profound hadith, my brothers and sisters. The Prophet Muhammad, our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, it's not me saying it, it's not another scholar saying it, this is a guidance, the wahi. Ma yantiqu anil hawa in huwa illa wahyun yuha. He does not speak out of his own whims. Whatever he says, whatever he does, is but a revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Guidance from the creator from above the seven heavens. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that whoever wakes up and he is safe in his property, safe and healthy in his body, has enough food for the day for him and his family, then if he has those three things, he has the entire world at his grasp. He's the most successful person. He's the most affluent person. He's the most peaceful person. I was reading the other day, I forgot his name, a non-Muslim multi-billionaire, right? He made hundreds of millions, billions of pounds. Had a chain of, commercial properties, right? He owned the, duty-free in the airport shops, and he made billions. And from 1984 to, I believe, 2019 or 18, I can't remember, right? He made a promise to himself and his family that he is going to give up all of his wealth to charitable causes. And he will not rest until he leaves all of his wealth. How much does a person need? Right? What do you need? Why do you need $1 billion? Like, even for yourself, why do you need £1 billion? Right? You need good food, yes. You need to enjoy yourself. Nothing wrong with that. Right? If you have £1 billion, you want to buy a Ferrari, go ahead. Nothing wrong with that. Pay your zakah, by the way. Right? You have to pay your zakah to give your sadaqah. So from 1984, he began to give his wealth. He only kept some money for his retirement for him and his wife. That is it. And he gave everything. Can you believe it? Everything. Rajihi. If you know the name Rajihi in Saudi Arabia, right? A billionaire. Most of his wealth given to charity. All of his wealth given to charity. He left some for his family, and he lives in a humble apartment or a humble house, right? And he gets some food, and his basic needs are taken care of. That is it. These are the people who understand wealth. These are the people who understand success. There's nothing wrong in living in nice houses, brothers and sisters. I'm not saying that. But if we have this material thing in our heart, then we will only focus on it. The Prophet Muhammad said, like the son of Adam, Bani Adam has a mountain of gold, weight of gold. Uhud, like Uhud, we want another one. That's the nature. Minha khalaqnakum wa fiha nu'idukum wa minha nukhrijukum taratan. That's the nature of wealth and material thing. But the Prophet Muhammad was reminding us, especially as we are going through global pandemic, a potential second wave, Over 1 million people globally have died. Hundreds and thousands of people have lost their jobs. And thousands of businesses are going bankrupt. If all these things that are happening, put things in perspective, wallahi. Put things in perspective. If you have a property, if you have a roof over your head, which is secure, protecting you from this heat and the cold, and you have good health, you are able to walk, you are able to talk, you are able to breathe properly, and you have food, halal and tayyib, you have good food for the day, that is the most successful person in the world, as according to the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to internalize the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to follow in the guidance of a Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب فاستغفروه إنه هو التواب الرحيم.